would sometimes show his victims a photo of his son in his wallet in order to put them at ease before murdering them. And we got bad news, the next is almost as murderous. Number 13, Virginia, population 8.7 million, homicide rate 7.8. The Commonwealth of Virginia was host to 272 serial killings from 1992 to 2019. But just before that, Alfredo Rolando Prieto was on the prowl, claiming 9 victims from 1988 to 1990. Like a lot of murderers, he met his demise at the business end of lethal injection. But is it worse to kill for pleasure or business? Number 12, New Jersey, population 9.3 million, homicide rate 3.8. Tony Soprano's stomping ground experienced 232 serial killings from 1992 to 2019. So it only makes sense that this entry is a supposed mob hitman, Richard Kuklinski, also known as the Iceman because of his technique of freezing victims to hide their time of death. He was confirmed to have killed at least 5 people, but claimed to have killed dozens more before he was arrested in 1986. Kuklinski was also a pathological liar who seemed very invested in bolstering his own legacy as New Jersey's ultimate badass, so the specific number he claims should be taken with a pinch of salt. Our next killer, on the other hand, was the real deal. Number 11, Michigan, population 10 million, homicide rate 8.6. Michigan had 425 serial killings from 1992 to 2019, the highest number so far, and their most horrific serial killer was Carl Eugene Watts, also known as the Sunday Morning Slasher, who claimed from 14 to as many as potentially 100+ victims. From 1974 to 1982, Carl began habitually bludgeoning, strangling, stabbing, and even drowning female victims, which soon became an all-consuming addiction. In the end, he would die of prostate cancer in prison. Hey, all this horror is making us hungry. Anyone want Taco Bell? Number 10, North Carolina, population 11 million, homicide rate 9.2. North Carolina had 295 serial killings from 1992 to 2019. And Henry Louis Wallace, also known as the Taco Bell Strangler, was one of the most despicable. He tormented and murdered 11 black women of low socioeconomic status, taking advantage of the police's slow response time and tackling his criminal rampage. This allowed him to claim more victims from 1990 to 1994, leading to substantial criticism of how the investigation was conducted by the Charlotte police. In either case, what happened to Wallace's victims is nothing but an awful tragedy. Now let's look into a certain devil who went down to our next state. Number 9, Georgia, population 11 million, homicide rate 11.3. Keeping up with our trend of escalating violence, Georgia had 409 serial killings from 1992 to 2019. And from 1979 to 1981, it's believed that Wayne Williams, also known simply as the Atlanta Monster, slayed from 2 to 30 victims, many of them children. Williams had a variety of modus operandi, from shooting to beating to strangling, and in all cases he displayed extraordinary cruelty. He even made his way into the second season of Mindhunter, which carries a certain degree of serial killer prestige.